Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing. And we're back for episode number 97 of Are You Quizzing Me? Your favorite quizzing and trivia podcast show. Aditya and I are back for another round of quizzing, and let's start off this episode, like always, with an audience question. And today's audience question is right up Aditya's alley, literally. Heated calcium oxide was used in theaters prior to the use of electricity. What was it used for, and what term did this lead to? Let me repeat the question. Heated calcium oxide was used in theaters prior to the use of electricity. What term did this lead to, and what was it used for? I will answer this question at the end of today's episode, but I have a feeling that Aditya will run there ahead of everyone else, so keep your answers ready, and I will reveal it at the end of today's episode. So, on today's episode, we have a good lineup of questions. And I think I'll start off with this very interesting fact that I heard the other day, which prompted me to make this question. Aditya, are you ready?
Hit me.
William Ernest Henley. Have you heard of William Ernest Henley?
Sounds familiar, yes.
William Ernest Henley was a British poet, writer, critic, and editor. Though he wrote several books of poetry, Henley is remembered most for his 1875 poem X. We'll call the title of the poem X for the moment. A fixture in London literary circles, Henley was an inspiration for Robert Louis Stevenson's character Y. And his daughter, Margaret Henley, inspired another famous literary character, Z. I want you to identify the poem that Henley wrote, X, the character that he inspired, Y, and Z, the character that his daughter inspired. Clues will be given going forward, but let me see if you can get anything from this right now.
So the character that Henley himself inspired is Y. Is Y a fictional poet?
No, the character that he inspired is not a poet.
Okay. So some trait of Henley inspired a character, but not necessarily the writer or the poet side of him.
Yes.
I have no context whatsoever right now, because when you mentioned Henley, I can recall hearing his name in a literary context somewhere, but nothing jumps to mind as to what specific work he's famous for. So I will probably need a clue.
The first clue that I will give you is that it was his physical appearance that inspired this very famous Robert Louis Stevenson character.
R.L. Stevenson character?
Yes.
It's like something from Treasure Island.
Oh, yes. Treasure Island. So when I say distinctive appearance in Treasure Island, who would you think of?
I can't think of something that's distinctive in terms of appearance in Treasure Island.
Oh, yeah. It's become a trope now, frankly.
Oh, the pirate.
Aha, which one?
Oh, that because it's a trope, I know that that's the... No, you'll have to help me out. I think or give me some clue as to what the name is.
Okay, so I'll describe the character to you. He was a very crafty pirate with a parrot.
Yes.
And a wooden leg.
Yeah, I remember all these things because they became tropes for a pirate post this imagining by R.L. Stevenson in Treasure Island. I'm forgetting the name. Captain.
No, it's not Captain Flint.
It's not Captain Flint.
No, it's not Flint.
Oh, okay. Then I'm probably confusing him with somebody else then.
Okay, I'll give it. It's Long John Silver.
Long John Silver. You should have told me it's a fast food restaurant. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, that clue would not have occurred to me. So you have now guessed that the character that he inspired was Long John Silver. Which poem did he write? Do you remember? You have any idea which poem that he could have written?
Henley? No, that I don't know.
Okay, so my clue to you is movie starring Matt Damon.
Invictus. Never mind. Let's move on. Of course, it is Invictus.
Yes, William Ernest Henley was the person who wrote Invictus.
Hmm.
It was his appearance that inspired Robert Louis Stevenson to create the character Long John Silver. And his young daughter, Margaret Henley, inspired a very famous literary character.
Hmm.
So much so that the name of this literary character was practically invented for this character. It was not a name that was the present prior to this book. And it was after this book's publication that this name became popular in the public. And it's now quite a feminine name. It's a very famous feminine name.
Sorry. So Margaret inspired a character. So the name of the character was Margaret. I didn't get that.
No, the character's name was not Margaret, but Margaret inspired a character, a classic character.
Okay, but the name was not Margaret, and the name of the character eventually became an iconic, commonplace name.
Yes, it was not a name prior to this.
Hmm. Margaret Henley. Is Margaret Henley famous for something? Because I don't know.
No, she inspired a particular character. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Okay, so this is a very famous quizzing trivia. So you should probably be able to make a connection immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of an amateur cricket team called the Allah Akbaris?
The Alak berries? No.
The Allah Akbaris. You know, Allah Akbar. So it's called the Allah Akbaris.
Okay.
It's a play on names. It's an amateur cricket team founded by one particular author, and at one point of time, it had Arthur Conan Doyle, P.G. Wodehouse, Jerome K. Jerome, A.A. Milne, A.W. Mewson, Bernard Partridge. They were all members of the same team, as well as the son of Alfred Tennyson.
Wow.
But who is the one who founded the team? That's the play on words when you say Allah Akbaris.
Allah Akbaris. Allah Huckberry? Huckleberry? No, that doesn't make sense.
No.
No, I have never heard this piece of trivia. What is it?
Oh, okay. So, oh shit. I just squandered a question then because I thought you would have known this. It was an amateur cricket team active from 87 to 1913, and it was founded by an author, and the team's name was a portmanteau of the author's name and the mistaken belief that Allahu Akbar actually meant heaven help us. When it actually means God is great, they thought that it meant heaven help us.
Oh, Barry, that Peter Pan guy.
Aha, okay. So yes, you have J.M. Barrie and the book is Peter Pan. So who's the character?
Oh, is this the person who I've heard this piece of trivia? The Wendy.
Yes, Wendy darling. Yes. So now we've got all three pieces. I could not believe this connection when I first read it. So let me just take it from the top, just wallow in the connection of history. So from the age of 12, William Ernest Henley had tuberculosis of the bone that resulted in the amputation of his left leg below the knee. That classical appearance was an inspiration for Long John Silver. As you know, he was a prolific poet and he did write Invictus, and not just because it's a fantastic poem, but it was also purportedly one of the main things that inspired Nelson Mandela. And there's a very famous movie about the South African sports team. I think it's a rugby team, right? Starring Matt Damon. So that's another connection that's there. It's a famous poem written by William Ernest Henley. And then finally, his daughter Margaret Henley was a sickly child, and J.M. Barrie was familiar with the family, and young Margaret used to call her friend Barrie her Fwendy Wendy, as in friend. So friendly became friendy, and Fwendy Wendy. And so J.M. Barrie used the name Wendy for a feminine character in his book for the first time. Unfortunately, Margaret did not live long enough to read the book. She died in 1894 at the age of 5. William Ernest Henley wrote Invictus, inspired Long John Silver, and his daughter was the inspiration for Wendy Darling in Peter Pan.
I did not know the connection to William Henley though. I remember the name Wendy came from the Wendy and how it was mispronounced by a young girl. I did not realize.
It's just one of those things when you read about it. It's like one trivia jumping to another, and they are all kind of interlinked through this man's life.
Pretty cool actually. I love that.
Okay, your turn.
Lovely. So, given that we were talking about interconnections, I'm going to ask you about a series of things that are connected via one common theme.
Okay.
The interconnected thing in this case is a building. And this building X used to be historically at various points a glass factory, vinegar works, gin distillery, glass kiln, barge houses, and also an inn at some point called the Vine. So it has played multiple roles through history. There was also evidence that there was a river wall on this particular site. Since 1994, this building X has been used for the purpose Y, or to house Y. Y, before it moved to X, was at two different locations. The first was 54 Broadway and the second was Century House. So Y's trajectory goes from 54 Broadway, Century House, and then X. And X, before it housed Y, used to be all the things that I mentioned earlier. The glass factory, glass kiln, vinegar works, gin distillery. There was a river wall at that point, barge houses, and also an inn.
Okay.
So historically has held many things. What are X and Y? Y has resided in X, or Y has been located at X since 1994. Can you guess what X and Y are?
Since 1994, Y has been in X, and X has been a lot of things, including, you mentioned a wine house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I did not mention a wine house, but it was an inn called the Vine.
Yeah, but inns usually serve wine, right? So then, and it's called the Vine. So,
But not wine like W-I-N-E, wine like V-I-N-E.
okay. Is it some kind of historical artifact? I'm asking for a clue here.
Okay, I mean, technically, because X has had these sites through history and has had some archaeological excavation, so there was some historical interest in this space.
Oh, God, Century House. Why didn't I get this? I've read enough John Le Carre and all. This is the MI6.
Yes, it is the MI6 building.
And the building you're talking about is that monstrosity that's on the River Thames, and out of which Pierce Brosnan jumped what was it, a speedboat out of it.
Exactly.
Which movie was that? I think Tomorrow Never Dies.
I don't remember which movie, but yes, it has featured in James Bond. Actually, multiple James Bond films it has featured.
Yeah. It's been everywhere. Yes.
It's called the SIS building, Secret Intelligence Service building, which is the house for Secret Intelligence Service, also known as MI6.
Yes. Whose first chief was Sir Mansfield Cummings, who used to sign his letters with the letter C, which was in green ink. And then Ian Fleming wanted to have that, but he didn't want to use C. So then he created the letter M for Sir Miles Messervy, who was supposed to be the chief of the Secret Intelligence Service. Yeah, I know. I know way too much about this to not have gotten it when you said Century House.
No. I allow you that flex because you do deserve it. You know enough about it to have a well-deserved flex on that point. Though I will tell you, the clue was why I wanted to ask this question. So all of these things are interesting in and of themselves. That yes,
Okay.
the building, SIS building that houses MI6 or SIS had this history of having all of these other places before. And MI6 itself has moved from this place called 54 Broadway in London to Century House in London, and finally at this point in 1994, the headquarters.
Yeah.
It had moved to Century House in 1964.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a classified information, but the Daily Telegraph reported it as, quote, London's worst kept secret, known only to every taxi driver, tourist guide, and KGB agent.
No.
Yeah. That particular piece of clue was why I loved this trivia. That the previous headquarters of MI6 before the current ones was a classified information, and yet Daily Telegraph reported it as London's worst kept secret, known to every KGB agent also. So that is my question, and yes, it was meant to be something right up your alley, as you keep giving me things up my alley. So Vineet, what question do you have in store for me now?
That was a nice one. So, by the way, I have recommended this before, but I think I should recommend it again. You should really listen to The Spy Who. It's a podcast that's available on Spotify, and I think it's by Wondery. The Spy Who describes different spies and their exploits during various periods in history. So that's a recommendation I'm maybe probably giving again. But anyway, moving on, I'm now going to ask a question that was sent in by a member of our audience. This particular question is a listicle, which I love. The fact that Arjun Srikumar has sent this to us. And the question is as follows: Aditya, with respect to the Filmfare Awards for Bollywood, what is unique about the awards given to Meena Kumari in 1963 for Best Actress, Mohammad Rafi in 1969 for Best Male Playback Singer, Asha Bhosle in 1973 for Best Female Playback Singer, Kishore Kumar in 1985 for Best Male Playback Singer, Alka Yagnik 1994 Best Female Playback Singer, and Javed Akhtar in 2005 for Best Lyricist. What is common or what is unique about these awards?
Oh, sorry, give me the Javed Akhtar one. When was that?
So Javed Akhtar was 2005. I'm guessing you already know what awards they would have won, so I'll just give you the names and the years. Meena Kumari, 1963. Mohammad Rafi, 1969. Asha Bhosle, 1973. Kishore Kumar, 1985. Alka Yagnik, 1994. And Javed Akhtar in 2005. Frankly, this was a big TIL for me when I read Arjun's question, and I was like, wow, I really have to put this in an episode. So this is the question that he asked, and frankly, very interesting answer.
Oh, very interesting answer. I was going to go for something simple. I was going to go for something like they refused the award, but I don't remember.
Oh, no, I don't think anybody refuses a Filmfare. Like, they may not show up to pick it up like Amir Khan.
Yeah, refused or didn't receive it or didn't come to receive it. Okay. So that's not the answer in this case. You're right. Amir Khan would have fit the bill. They all seem to be, okay, no, Meena Kumari was the actress, but the others were all singers or something to do with music. Were they also nominated in another category in the same year? Like I can imagine Kishore Kumar for acting, Javed Akhtar for lyrics and dialogues or something like that.
Possible, but then Asha Bhosle, Kishore Kumar, Mohammad Rafi and Alka Yagnik.
Alka Yagnik is only a singer, Asha Bhosle only a singer. Multiple nominations, but I know multiple nominations, like even like Shah Rukh has gotten on multiple years for acting and stuff.
Warmer,
okay. Is there like a 3 nominations, 4? Is there a number? Like they've gotten certain number of nominations?
Take it to the extreme. You're almost there. Just take it to the extreme.
Extreme? All the nominations?
Yes. So these are all artists who had all the nominations in their respective categories.
Whoa!
For example, in 1963, all the nominations were for Meena Kumari in different films.
What? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So in those days, they had only 3 nominations. So then Meena Kumari was nominated 3 times for 3 different films. Same thing for Javed Akhtar, Best Lyricist. I mean, like, it was literally just a formality. Like, it's the one time that people can be sure they know who's going to win.
Interesting. I wonder what it feels like to be nominated in everything, or rather be the only nominee, and yet people are making a choice as to one of your babies, right? Because they have to pick which one of your works do they like the best.
Yeah. No, so that's what I'm imagining. Like, Javed Akhtar must be like, I won it for this. I should have won it for the other movie. I wrote better for that.
Right, yeah. In his head, he's like, what a strange win to have. This was not deserved at all. I deserved it for the other film. Oh, I do wonder what that looked like if which one of these would have been televised. Definitely the Javed Akhtar one would have been televised. Do they like cut to his face from like different angles? Like Javed Akhtar for this film, Javed Akhtar for film number 2, Javed Akhtar for film number 3. I love that. Amazing. Okay, that is a very cool piece of trivia. Very huge TIL for me as well.
And that was all thanks to Arjun Srikumar. So thank you, Arjun.
Amazing. Thank you, Arjun. I love questions that are sent to us. And I believe there have been quite a few recent questions. I've seen a few which have been sent to you, Vineet. So I'm assuming I have a few audience questions coming my way. I love that.
Yes. I'm trying to sprinkle them out so that everybody gets, throughout multiple episodes. And so, if you've sent in a question, keep listening because it will show up and I won't tell you which episode is going to show up in. So you'll be forced to listen. I'm going to hold you hostage.
That is such a strange way to treat your listeners, Vineet. just harassing them when they're doing us a favor and sending us questions. And let me speak on Vinny's behalf. We are very grateful and appreciative. We do not want to hold you hostage.
No, I do want to hold you hostage a little bit. Otherwise, why produce this podcast in the first place? When we produce a podcast and somebody's listening to us, we are literally holding their ears hostage for like whatever, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever. We are the villains in the story.
This is the
Get used
smallest
to it.
amount of power I have ever seen get to someone's head. This is the least amount of power that you could be corrupted by, Vineet, and you have been. My lord.
World domination through trivia.
I hope they never hand you the keys to the country.
Oh, fat chance of that happening. Okay, your turn.
Vineet, my question is very simple. One of the kind of questions that we perhaps don't do very often,
Okay.
but seeing that this is Are You Quizzing Me, where there's a little bit of a catch always, a little bit of an unexpected twist. So you perhaps want to approach this question with that in mind. Tell me, Vineet, which is the world's longest art gallery?
The world's longest art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
I know the answer to this, and you cannot tell me I'm wrong. So I'm going to tell you that upfront. You can absolutely not be able to tell me I'm wrong. The world's longest art gallery is the desert which hosts the Nazca art lines. You know, the Nazca lines, which can only be seen from the air.
Okay.
So they're like huge. They're like acres and acres and acres. That is the world's largest art gallery. Thank you. You've been a great audience tonight. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
I'll move on to the next question then.
Yes, yeah.
No, I'm for the purpose of keeping you on as a co-host and not losing you, I will say yes. Good job, Vineet. Well done. Applause will play now. But just to humor me, what would be another answer that would maybe fit the bill more accurately? What is the world's longest art gallery?
Oh, by longest, are you saying the art gallery with the longest name? Or, physically longest?
Not beyond me to actually throw something like that your way. But no, in this case, I genuinely mean longest, as in physically longest.
Or is it like an art gallery that's so boring that when you're inside, it feels like a long period of time?
I cannot blame you for asking me these questions because this is exactly the kind of stuff I would give you.
So this is a physically long art gallery.
For once, I genuinely mean my question. I'm not trying to phrase it in a roundabout way.
Okay. So I'm guessing this is not an art gallery at all. I'm guessing maybe is this like some kind of the viewing place in Buckingham Palace or the White House or something like that?
Instead of answering that question directly, because I feel like that might be too much of a giveaway, let me give you another hint. It weaves around for 70 miles in this particular city. 70 miles.
70 miles?
For reference, that is 112 kilometers.
Yeah, and that's in one city.
Exactly.
Oh, is this like the catacombs under Rome?
Oh, well, lovely guess. I don't think the catacombs would be that huge. I don't know. Could be.
I mean, like they'll be intersecting, right? So then the total length would be.
I imagine. But I don't know how much art exists in the catacomb. There does exist some of it, I guess.
They have like piles of some, what do you call skulls and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
Everything is art.
Fair enough. If you are stoned enough, I guess everything is art. No. This is actual art, and I'll give you another further clue. European art is what I'm talking about. So this is in Europe somewhere.
112 kilometers of European art. Is this some kind of fancy way of saying that Florence has so many statues and things like that you have to call it an art gallery?
No, this is an art gallery that there are tours designed for, though it does serve another purpose as well. The primary purpose is something else. It also happens to be an art gallery.
Oh, wait, is it the Vatican?
I don't know if the Vatican will be 112 kilo. I guess.
I mean, like, see, again, they've been, I won't say looting because that'll get me in trouble, but they have a lot of art from a lot of parts of the world, lots of, parts of the world. So,
Fair. The Vatican City, I think the perimeter is like 3.2 kilometers. So
I was thinking maybe like a circular spiral and they have like multiple floors and whatnot. You never know what's under the Vatican. I've read the Da Vinci Code. I know what's up.
yeah, I guess you and Dan Brown are the only two people who have true access to the knowledge. But no, we're not in Italy, we're not in Vatican, not Rome. Do you want to try another guess?
Oh, I've been vaguely fixated on Italy for so long. Don't tell me the Louvre. It's not the Louvre, is it?
Not France either.
Wait, is this the Louvre that they're building in Dubai?
Like I mentioned, it's European art. It is in Europe.
Wait, I know the British Museum, the British National Museum has like multiple floors and underground floors and things like that.
Not the UK either.
Okay, I'm going to need something else here. You're going to have to help me out.
The reason that this is the world's longest art gallery, or this is an art gallery to begin with, stems from a socialist idea that art should be accessible for the masses. Everybody should be able to enjoy and access the arts.
Okay. This is like a graffiti thing.
Okay, graffiti obviously also an art form, but I'm talking about decades and decades of European art history is on display in this art gallery, and it is accessible to the general public of this city.
Oh, dude, I'm all out of guesses. I've not even smart aleck answers anymore.
Okay, let me give you one last clue. This place or this city, even if you give me the name of the city, that should get us somewhere there. The city is made up of 14 islands, famously.
Venice?
No, I said not Italy, not Italy.
Oh yeah, you keep saying it not really. I just keep coming back to Italy. 14 islands.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Seven Bridges city, which is a Stuttgart? No.
No, it's a Nordic country.
Dude, I'm blank. You'll just have to tell me. Stockholm.
Stockholm is the city. Yes, well done, well done.
No, yeah, that was literally the last European city left for me to guess.
Hey, you did not go to Frankfurt, you did not go to Berlin, so good job there.
I went to Stuttgart, for God's sakes. No offense, Stuttgart, I'm told, is a very beautiful city, so yeah.
Okay, so Stockholm, you're right. Now, I'll go back to the clue which I said, that art was meant to be accessible to everybody. It was a very strongly socialist idea or agenda that art shouldn't be kept away in galleries and museums where only the elite and the rich can go. A place where almost the regular folks of a city can easily walk and access and witness the art on a daily basis.
I don't know. What? I have no clue. What kind of famous buildings are there in Stockholm?
Remember, I said 112 kilometers. No one building has 112 kilometers.
Yeah, so then it must be like a walkway or something, right?
Or what is 112 kilometers? Nobody walks through a walkway of 112 kilometers.
It's a boat ride then?
No, not a boat ride. What other means of transport would you use to?
Trains.
Hey, there we go. Yes, it is the subway metro. That is the world's longest art gallery. Exactly.
Oh, that's smart. I did not even think of a subway metro.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, actually, this question has been many years in the making. And I was traveling in Russia more than a decade ago for my grad trip. I had just graduated. A little bit of flex there.
Yeah. Fair warning to people, he's going to mention Mount Tibidabo very soon. Keep your knickers on. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that I'll save for another After Hours podcast. But no, in this case, I will mention that I was traveling through Russia and I remember posting pictures on Instagram and talking about just how beautiful the railway stations were. And a friend of mine commented on it saying the reason is because the Communist Party back in the day was very strongly of the opinion that art should not be kept away in galleries and museums. So they used to put it up in railway stations. So a lot of Russia, the railway stations are gorgeous. And they have such beautiful artwork, you would not believe it. And these are tiny stations in tiny cities. I'm not even talking St. Petersburg or Moscow or anything. I'm talking like really, really tiny towns somewhere tucked away. And they'll have these murals and masterpieces of paintings. So Stockholm similarly had the idea of making art as accessible as possible. And you can access the free walking tours. The only price you have to pay is a metro ticket. So as long as you have a ticket for a train, you are able to access this art gallery. And as most people do, they use the metro, they use the trains for their regular commute and are able to enjoy art along the way. More than 5 decades of European art history is visible all across Stockholm metro and Stockholm subways. And that is the world's longest art gallery.
That is very nice. That's a very nice question. But I still contend
Mhm.
that the Nazca lines must be the largest.
Of course, of course.
Come on, man. You will literally have to go up in the air to see it.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
Yeah. Just imagine how bad the aliens who made that must be feeling.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
that was a joke. I don't believe that aliens made the Nazca lines, please.
Oh, you can't take it back. You can't take it back. Vineet, nope, nope. Sorry, not taking it back anymore. You are on record now.
Hmm. Okay, moving on from conspiracy theories to something that's not actually a conspiracy theory at all. So it's a very straightforward question, like you just asked me. So it's a very straightforward question. Aditya, this is regarding TV shows. So hopefully this should be also right up your alley. So the question is this: the first letters of the names of the main characters in which blockbuster TV show originally spelled out magic?
Originally spelled out magic and then eventually was changed.
Yeah, meaning TV shows like characters come and go.
Oh, the original cast, their name spelled out magic and then eventually
Yeah, the first letters of their names spelled out magic.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but there's no S in it, so never mind.
The first letters of the names of the main characters
Hmm.
of which blockbuster TV show originally spelled out magic. Magic.
Okay. Blockbuster TV show. With 5 main characters, I can think of Big Bang Theory, I can think of How I Met Your Mother. In recent memory, these are the ones that come to mind.
I don't think it's unfair to say that this show is probably bigger than the two that you've mentioned.
Huh? Bigger than How I Met Your Mother, bigger than Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
Is it more recent than these shows as well?
both yes and no.
So it's more recent than one and less recent than the other?
No, I just said it's both yes and no. That should maybe tell you something.
No, it doesn't. Vinny, stop it. Stop it, Vinny. You can't carry forward these habits into 2025. I urge you to be better in this year. Okay, fine. Both yes and no. So it started before that and ended after that, maybe. Magic. Meredith Grey, Magic. Grey's Anatomy?
Yes, very good. It is Grey's Anatomy.
Ah.
So the original cast, do you know the characters' names? I would not fault you if you did not.
I have seen the first season of Grey's Anatomy and I gave up quite soon thereafter. But that's the only way I got to the clue because you said both yes and no, which means probably started before and ended after. Or is it ongoing? Is it still ongoing?
It's still going. It's still going. 21 seasons, still going.
My lord, wow.
400 plus episodes.
I'm so glad I gave up because I don't think I would have been able to keep up with it.
Yeah, it's available on Disney Hotstar if anybody's interested. The 5 major characters of the first few seasons of Grey's Anatomy included Meredith Grey, Alex Karev, George O'Malley, Izzy Stevens, and Christina Yang. The first letters of their names spelled out magic, Magic. So much so that fans also called the first 4 or 5 seasons, I don't remember which exactly because frankly I haven't watched the show that much, but the first few seasons where all 5 characters were present, they called it the magic era.
Oh, nice. Okay, lovely.
And that show launched the careers of a lot of people, including stars like Christina Yang. It made Shonda Rhimes juggernaut. And we now have Bridgerton thanks to the fact that she became very famous and powerful after the success of Grey's Anatomy. And it's also led to multiple spin-off shows. Do you know any of the spin-off shows, Aditya?
None, but I do know there are a few.
Yeah, so there is another one called Private Practice, which ran for 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is another show called Station 19. And then there are 2 spin-offs, rather adaptations, one in Mexico and one in Colombia, both of them called A Corazón Abierto. Don't ask me what it means. I just know that the name is A Corazón de Abierto.
The Open Heart.
Oh, nice. I know Corazón is heart, but Abierto is open. Okay, nice. Very nice. So we have the well-traveled Aditya to thank for that particular translation. But yes, so the first letters of the names of the main characters of Grey's Anatomy, at least initially, spelled out magic. And Aditya, your question.
All right, great. I have asked a Grey's Anatomy question in the past because I know Grey's Anatomy had to do with a medical textbook. And
Mm-hmm.
that question I remember you cracking very quickly. So I love this little throwback to a previous episode. Thank you for reminding me of this piece of trivia as well. But moving on, my question has to do with another young person. That's the best segue I can do, I guess. When Grey's Anatomy started, they were all young. So let's use that as a segue.
Mm-hmm.
This young gentleman by the name of Mike, who was 17, owned a domain name. He was from the Canadian Belmont High School, and the student was sued by a huge company, by a very large corporation, because they wanted that particular domain name. They thought they deserved that domain name. They thought that they should be the rightful owners of that domain name. Do
Okay.
you know which company was Mike from Belmont High School, a 17-year-old student from Canada, sued by?
Sued by a company. I know that Google had lost their domain name, like they'd forgotten to renew their domain name 1 year, and somebody kind of snapped that up,
Mm.
and they had to give him a bunch of money. Is
Mm-hmm.
this that same one?
No, I think that is a pretty common piece of trivia, yes. And I believe that they eventually donated that money or something along those lines. But no, this is not the same one. This happened in 2003, by the way. Mike registered his domain in 2003, August 5th, 2003.
And he was sued at the same year.
He received a legal notice January of 2004 and eventually was sued thereafter.
Okay. 2003, right?
Mhm.
Nope, I need some kind of clue.
The clue would be another segue from the previous question, because the previous question had to do with names, and this question, or the answer, lies in the name itself. You have to focus on the Mike part of it.
Microsoft?
Hey, there we go. Microsoft it is. Do you know why Microsoft sued him?
Wait, did Microsoft forget to renew their domain and something? No, but you said he registered the domain, right? So then, yeah. Did they forget it and he snapped it up and he registered with his own name?
No, he had a different website altogether that was using his own name. Can you guess what Mike's last name is?
This is something really silly. Is his last name Rosoft?
His name is Rowe. So Mike, Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe, this Canadian teenager, registered a website called mikerowesoft.com.
Oh God! Oh God! And wait, why? And Microsoft actually sued him for it.
So Microsoft argued that their trademark had been infringed because of the phonetic resemblance between Microsoft and Microsoft. And when he initially set it up, Microsoft's Canadian legal representatives sent him a letter, and Rowe in response said, okay, fine, compensate me for giving up the domain. Just pay me some
Yeah,
money.
just do that.
Microsoft offered to pay Rowe out of pocket expenses of $10, which was the original cost of registering the domain name. Rowe
Okay.
got really mad and instead asked for $10,000, claiming that he did it because he was pissed off at Microsoft for their initial offer. Microsoft declined the offer
Fair
and
enough.
sent a cease and desist letter spanning 25 pages.
Pay the man.
This is a 17-year-old being sued by Microsoft.
I'm reminded of the guy who recently had, I think, gotten the GeoStar domain because of the upcoming merger between Disney
Hmm.
and Geo
Mm-hmm.
Cinema. So it's apparently, so he predicted that it might be called GeoStar or Geo
Mm-hmm.
Hotstar, and I don't remember which domain it was exactly. And then he put up a landing page where he's like, "I have this. If you pay for my MBA in the US, like he wanted to do an
Mm.
MBA in the US, that he'll
Mm-hmm.
transfer the domain to them." But then Reliance just decided to sue him.
Oh, yeah, that probably did not work out too well for him.
Yeah, didn't work out. No. Okay, so Microsoft, it's just so silly.
Because of public pressure, Microsoft relented and they did an out of court settlement, with Microsoft finally taking the control of the domain. In return, Microsoft agreed to pay all of the expenses that Rowe had incurred, including setting up a new site and redirecting traffic to microforums.com. So microsoft.com. And that website is no longer functioning. Microsoft also provided Ro with a subscription to the Microsoft Developer Network and all expenses paid trip for him and his family to the Microsoft Research Tech Fest that is in Washington, and training for Microsoft certification and an Xbox with a selection of games. So they really had to compensate him for way more than the $10 that they had initially offered to him.
Oh God. I mean, like, even just the hours of billings that their lawyers would have to pay, they must have paid in hundreds of thousands. Microsoft doesn't have cheap lawyers.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you know what? In this case, I'm on Mike Rowe's side. Microsoft can really go suck on the tailpipe of a car. Always, yes.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. So I think we have time for one more round of questions, and this is one that was sent to us by Arush Ghate, and it is right up Aditya's alley. I'm fairly sure you'll get this quickly, but chalo. Michael Foot was a British politician who was the leader of the Labour Party and leader of the opposition from 1980 to 1983. In 1978, a reader, David Allen, responded to an article for the Guardian newspaper suggesting that if in future, if Mr. Foot were to be appointed as Secretary of Defense, they should run the headline blank 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 forwards. A hilarious bit of wordplay about this potential scenario. So, what was the headline that he suggested? It was a hilarious headline and it is right up your alley. What do you think it was?
Oh, I love hilarious headlines. So, Foot, and what is the position again?
Secretary of Defense.
Oh, okay. Foot in the mouth doesn't work. Secretary of Defense, foot war, foot soldier. No, give me some sort of a clue, maybe.
Okay, just think of other parts of the body. That's my clue.
Head and knees, shoulders. I don't know. Wait, so 4 blanks. Sorry, when was he going to be selected as the?
No. This is a hypothetical scenario. So, reader David Allen had suggested that if in future Mr. Foot were to be appointed as Secretary of Defense, they should run the headline blank 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 blank.
Yeah, I got that, but I'm just trying to figure which era was this. Just maybe it helps me.
1978, 1980s.
Oh, okay. That doesn't help me. Never mind. Oh, head and foot. Head, foot, something like that, because he's the head of defense. Foot.
So okay.
Head.
Okay, what's the main thing that you use in like a country's defense?
Arms. Oh, head of arms, foot. Something like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's foot, heads, arms, body.
Oh, that is brilliant. I love it. Foot, heads, arms, body. I'm in love with this headline. That is going down into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, apparently it was inducted into the Headline Hall of Fame. And Arush has given us another example. So another hilarious headline that he wanted to add as bonus trivia was that when A.B. de Villiers welcomed his child with his wife Danielle, Social Watch ran the headline, A.B. delirious as Mrs. A.B. delivers baby de Villiers.
Cute. I love that. That is also lovely. I like that one. Yeah.
A.B. delirious as Mrs. A.B. delivers baby de Villiers. Now, you should try saying that fast 5 times.
All right. Okay. Cool. I enjoyed that. All right.
Okay. I think yours is now the last question for this episode. Come on, hit me with it.
Well, speaking of interesting names, tell me what name came from this particular film. The film is Aaj, which is a 1987 Indian Hindi language film directed by Mahesh Bhatt.
Okay.
It stars Raj Babbar, Smita Patil, Kumar Gaurav, Mark Zuber, and Anamika Pal.
Okay.
Kumar Gaurav played a youngster whose sister has been missing for a long time, and he often wanders around the streets looking for her. Just a brief description of his character.
Yeah, I've not watched the movie, so.
That's okay. the name of his character inspired an actual real life name that is now very, very popular in Indian pop culture, in the Indian world of entertainment.
Okay.
Can you take a guess as to what this name was?
I do not know because I've never seen the movie.
All right. So let me give you a hint. The name that it inspired, the person who has that name, actually made his first screen appearance in this film in a bit role.
The person who has this name now, you say?
So let me explain that one more time. Kumar Gaurav's character's name, the youngster whose sister has been missing for a long time and he's looking for her, that particular character that Kumar Gaurav played, that character's name was, let's say, adopted or was taken on by this person who actually made his first appearance in this film in a very tiny role.
Oh, okay, okay. So somebody who's using a particular name X as his nom de plume got it from this movie.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes more sense. Okay. So people who nom de plume, and this is an actor, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Not nom de plume here, it'll be stage name.
Stage name, yes. Stage name, yeah.
Actors who have a different name, isn't that quite common? A lot of them change their names, right? I've even heard that Salman Khan's name is not actually Salman Khan, or at least it's not the full name. Shah Rukh is Shah Rukh. But you mentioned what years was this?
87 film.
Shah Rukh that's too late for Shah Rukh. Salman, yes, Salman was too early for Shah Rukh, man. Salman was already acting by this point. Who else is there? 19. Saif and Akshay were in the mid 90s, or at least early 90s. Mohra was 93, I think, right? And Makhiladi Tuanadi was also what, 93, 94?
I'll take your word for it. Okay, before you go on with your guesses, I'm just going to mention one clue over here. The name of the person who adopted it also kind of links back to Kumar Gaurav's actual name.
Kumar Gaurav's name? What is this, like a Russian nesting doll? I didn't know Kumar Gaurav's actual name was not Kumar Gaurav.
No. Kumar Gaurav's actual name is like Kumar Gaurav. The name Kumar Gaurav, not the character's name, not just the character's name. The name Kumar Gaurav also somehow links to this person.
Right. Kumar Gaurav. This is an actor I know, right? This is not like some kind of deep cut.
No, not a deep cut at all. This is an actor every single Hindi speaking Indian person absolutely knows.
Okay. Links back to Kumar Gaurav. The only person I can think of is Akshay Kumar, but I don't think Akshay started acting in 1987. He was in the early 90s, right?
I have to give it to you, though I would have given you this clue also, that the bit role that this actor appeared in was a karate instructor, and that would have also led you to Akshay Kumar.
Akshay was acting in 1987?
It's his first ever on-screen appearance in a tiny role as a karate instructor.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought he started acting in the 90s. I had no idea he went back that far.
Yeah, and his name, obviously in the film, his birth name, Rajiv Hariom Bhatia, was what he used in the film.
Yeah, Rajiv Bhatia, yes.
So Kumar Gaurav's character's name was Akshay, and Akshay Kumar has mentioned how he later chose his stage name Akshay Kumar after actor Kumar Gaurav's on-screen name in the film. It's a little interesting piece of trivia that he acted in this film. It was his debut, technically, in a tiny role, and the lead character's name was Akshay, and that was played by Kumar Gaurav. So Akshay, played by Kumar Gaurav, gave Akshay Kumar. And that's how Akshay Kumar chose his name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hollywood nesting doll. That's a very great question. Is it a movie worth watching? I'm not asking a recommendation or anything, but is it a movie worth watching?
The reviews did not seem to be very impressive, so I don't know if I would recommend it. But hey, just if you're an Akshay Kumar fan.
It's a Mahesh Bhatt movie, right?
The IMDb rating is 4.6, so you know what, you decide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, interestingly enough, if you now Google Aaj 1987 film, Google shows you the cast, and the first person in the cast is Akshay Kumar, who in the actual film is in almost a blink and miss role, apparently. So,
okay. Okay. Poor Kumar Gaurav.
This is his legacy.
Faded into obscurity. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all the time we have for today's episode. Before we wind up, there is the matter of the audience question which I asked at the beginning of today's episode, and that was heated calcium oxide was used in theaters prior to the use of electricity. What was its use and what term did this lead to? Aditya, tell me the answer.
Limelight.
Yes, very good. Very, very good. Obviously, being a theatre kid, Aditya knows this. But calcium oxide is also called quicklime, and that's the lime in limelight comes from this calcium oxide, which is a chemical compound that emits a bright white light when heated. Before electricity and bulbs, they used to have this. They used to heat up calcium oxide, and the light used to be focused using a lens onto the stage. And another bonus piece of trivia: limelight was first used in a theatre in London's Covent Garden in 1837. That's the answer to the audience question. And let's wind up quickly, Aditya. What's your pop culture recommendation for this week?
I was visiting some classics. I realized 2024 was not a very book heavy year for me. So I wanted to change that in 2025. And I started by reading a classic. I'd never read it before, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells.
Ooh.
That is my first recommendation, The Time Machine. And since I have mentioned H.G. Wells, I'm going to mention The Invisible Man as well. 2 books of his that I've read and I have enjoyed. So check out H.G. Wells, one of the pioneers of science fiction. Bunch of interesting books, including these 2.
Yes. I would actually also just recommend, while we are on the topic, Jules Verne, who I've always found to be more compelling. And one specific one I would actually go with, like everybody's heard of Around the World in 80 Days, so I'm not going to say that. I would say Journey to the Center of the Earth and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. These 2 are 2 of my favorite Jules Verne books. So adding that onto Aditya's list of books. I'm also going to recommend a Malayalam movie that I saw just very recently. It's called Rifle Club. When it comes out on OTT, you can watch it. I think it's ending its theatrical run by the time we're recording this. But it's a good, fun survival movie, and Malayalam movies have been hitting it out of the park since last year. So definitely go take a watch of that, Rifle Club. And that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you all for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard and you enjoy being held hostage, please consider subscribing to this podcast. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you're being held hostage right now. It helps us reach a wider audience and allows more people to discover and become, hostages. We would also love to hear feedback, suggestions, even trivia. You can reach us at our email. You can send questions to that email at areyouquizzingme@gmail.com. Just make sure that you have the quizmaster who you want to ask the question in the subject line. You can reach out to us on Instagram at areyouquizzingme. We are available on YouTube. You can watch our podcast on YouTube. And finally, we also have a community on Reddit, which is r/areyouquizzingme. Visit that subreddit and you can interact with other people who enjoy the show. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in future and accumulating the number of hostages we have. Thank you again for tuning in and have a great day.
And hopefully see you guys next week safe and sound.